All right, everyone, welcome today to the category mistake. I have no idea what episode. I think it's like 14, 13, 13 and a half.
I think you're 15.
15.
I could be wrong.
Okay. So the gentleman sitting next to me and the people who are listening online without a picture is Jack/Jonathan Brown. He is my son-in-law, a man of many talents, none of which he will show tonight.
Oh, I think you say are useful.
Useful is a strong word. Let's not go there. So tonight we're trying something. We're actually going to be on Twitch doing a live podcast along with a recorded one that will be online at some time before the end of my life, which, looking at my watch, could be sooner than later. So tonight we're going to talk about movies and the emotional turmoil that movies put on our bodies, our minds, our spirits, and whatever soul he has. And if you're looking online, you can see he's kind of gingerish, so his soul has been stolen.
It's okay. I've got like 4 backups.
4 backups.
At least.
Are any of them my children?
No, they've been good to me.
Oh, that's too bad. I'll have to talk to them. So tonight we're talking about movies. And so I gave Jack a lovely task. I told him, hey, you need to watch some movies before you come on this podcast with me. Because listen, you kind of suck at things, and I think it'd be hilarious to put you online and show people how crazy you are.
Oh, I've made a fool of myself online before. You're way late to the party.
Yes, but see, now I get to spread you to new people.
True.
It's kind of like coronavirus, Ebola,
I think it's like
the Spanish
STD.
flu.
That too.
I don't want to say STD. You are married to my daughter.
No, I'm clean. I just showered.
You're clean from STDs because you showered?
Yeah, the water washes it away.
Oh, is that how that works?
Exactly.
They should try that in New Jersey.
They bathe in the river water, so it just collects. It's
do you want to call that water? Because I don't know. I've driven by there and I'm like,
fondue.
I'm thinking, Simpsons, Three-Eyed Fish. Something's going on in New Jersey.
Didn't they eat the 3-eyed fish in one episode?
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
No problem. So, Jack, do you remember the movies I asked you to watch?
I did.
Give me one. Let's start with the first one that you can remember.
The first one was Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, my opinion on Star Wars The Last Jedi, before you start.
No, go, please, it's your show.
It is an absolute train wreck.
In space.
Barely in space.
Actually, mostly in space.
Well, you got the Luke part, and then you got the space with the Hodor and the...
With the Hodor and, the White Walkers.
Yes. Well, the Hodor maneuver, blowing up spaceships by running out of gas. Nowhere in Star Wars have we ever ran out of gas before, but all of a sudden we do.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how you run out of gas.
It's like when you're playing the games, like, oh, I'm out of ammo. I'm like, you're shooting lasers. Do you really need ammo for this? But
I don't know. I mean, according to Star Wars now, you need gas and ammo.
I mean, this is just like the world we're living in now.
Yes, but this all off the California coast coming from China, just sitting there, just chilling.
I wonder what the California in space would be.
A trash heap?
I was going to say maybe like the lower slums of Coruscant.
Like the lower slums, like where the Mandalorian
Well, Coruscant actually would be a perfect place for like a California setting. Because you get like the nice part of Coruscant, like you could say the LA or the Hollywood.
Stay in frame. So you gotta stay in frame.
I'm in frame.
There you go.
They have like 3/4 of my face. That's a good day.
I barely like looking at 1/5 of your face. But anyway, keep going with
Coruscant.
Coruscant.
You're subjecting your people to this.
I have nothing else better to do on a Tuesday night. Do you? Nah, exactly. So, what did you think about The Last Jedi?
When I first saw it, it was 2017 because 2015 was Force Awakens, 2016 was Rogue One, and Force Awakens wasn't perfect. I did think at the time it was very much almost copy paste of A New Hope.
Oh, it was.
It's not a bad thing, but it's just like, I was hoping for something. We have all this time between episode 3 and this. I thought we could get some newer material, but I think it's still the strongest of the sequels.
I mean, if you go from Return of the Jedi to this, you've got like 30 years.
Yes, but
so you would think that
that's space years.
Yes, space years. But here's a big difference if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
George Lucas for 6 episodes, not George Lucas for the last 3.
And that's part of the problem.
It's been Disney-fied.
Not even the fact that it's Disney-fied. My biggest problem was it was not Judd Apatow. Why am I thinking Judd Apatow? It was, what's his name?
Who directed it?
Yeah, it was
J.J. Abrams.
Thank you. It was J. J.J. Abrams did 7, and that was fine. I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going. And then we cut to Rian Johnson,
who's a hot mess of stupid.
Yeah, it was in 8, which is just, he's like, let's do this in a whole new direction. And it's like, why? We have like plot and setup. And then J.J. Abrams comes back for 9, and he's like, I want to kind of correct a lot of stuff that happened in 8, which even then at that point, there's still a lot of missing points. But I remember seeing bits and pieces of what would have been the script for Colin Trevorrow's 9, because he was supposed to do it. And that, if that was going to go the way the script was, that would have been amazing.
But Disney stepped in.
Yes.
Just like they did with Solo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they made, one director go away, and then they brought in Ron Howard, Opie. Opie,
I never had a problem with
from
Solo.
the Andy Griffith Show.
I liked Solo.
Starring Ronnie Howard.
Yeah.
He's not even Ron Howard. He's Ronnie Howard.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Happy
Not
Days.
Douglas Hauser, Doogie Howser.
He loses his hair, so he quits Happy Days.
Mm-hmm.
And then he becomes a director. And he has to save Solo, a Star Wars story.
I didn't think Solo was that bad.
Well, that's because, I don't know. I it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not something, I paid to watch it because I'm one of those people.
Well,
but
it was
looking
in the
back,
movies, so I think we all paid to watch.
What I'm saying is, I could watch it on Disney Plus now as part of my subscription, and we're good.
Well, yeah, but that's now 5 years later. But
no, but
I digress.
At the time, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give Ronnie Howard a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I gave him a chance.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think of Solo?
It was very bland. It was very watered down.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chewbacca could have been much more violent.
He really could have.
And Solo could have been less of a twerp.
Twerpy?
He was like a spoiled brat.
I wouldn't say
it's
spoiled.
Not fair. It's like, come on, man.
Well, I mean, looking back at Harrison Ford's Han Solo, he wasn't very just, I'll stay in my lane and I'll just, well, I don't know, let's stay in my lane, but he wasn't very go with the flow. He was always riding against the grain.
Yes, but this Solo just made me feel like, okay, he doesn't get his way, so he's going to steal, beg, borrow, and steal to get his way. And when he doesn't get his way, he's going to, pound his fists on the table and say, wah, 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 all the way home.
I mean, that kind of reminds me of Luke pretty much 4 and most of 5.
Yeah, well, Luke was also 18 years old, an orphan. Come to find out, his dad is the evil Sith Lord who killed everybody, and his only mentor got cut in half by his father. So, there's some daddy issues there.
There is some daddy issues, but Han didn't have, the perfect life either. It's like, I live on Corellia. It's like, that's nice. You make nice ships and horrible dwellings with mud snake people.
Yes, but don't we all love a good mud snake person?
Only at my massage. Yeah, I like it in my sauce.
Wow. I don't want to know what you're doing at your massages to get that in your sauce.
I just get lost in it. That's the problem.
So, Last Jedi, give me some perspective here.
When I first saw it, I was still riding that Star Wars high. I like 7. I'm like, all right, we can see where we go with this. Rogue One came out. Rogue One was phenomenal. Rogue One was great. I loved it.
Yes, it gave some story to the Death Star.
Yes.
And the nuance of the Death Star. So yes, that was good.
A non-Jedi or Sith-sided story was refreshing, and I thought, I don't know how I feel about it, but they executed it phenomenally. I was very happy with it. So I was kind of riding like that Rogue One, and like I was also watching Clone Wars at the time, which is a great show.
Yeah.
And so I see episode 8, and I know I was letting my optimism get the best of me.
That was a bad choice.
It really was. Because I remember my first skeptical thing was when the TIE pilots by Kylo Ren shoot the bridge of the cruiser and Leia flies out into space. I'm like, she really should have had a better death, a better send-off. And then she uses the Force, which I'm not upset with her using the Force. It's like, it could have been done better, but it was never out of the question.
Okay.
But it's just like, oh, we're going to fly back in, and then I'm going to be comatose for the rest of the 2 movies. And it's like,
And I guess it would be okay if anywhere in Star Wars lore you had seen a Jedi flying through space using the Force without a ship.
I think that's happened. I don't know enough about Star Wars to like pinpoint it exactly. But
so why does Emperor Palpatine use a ship? Couldn't he just be like, I'm flying through space, here I go? But
maybe dramatic purposes.
Dramatic.
Yeah, Darth Vader has always been dramatic.
Darth Vader's been dramatic because he's got a breathing machine that, they kind of put out going, well, that's so cool, let's go.
But that's the thing also in Rogue One at the Darth Vader bridge scene.
That was the best scene in the whole movie.
It really was. But also you
6
notice... 6
minutes of death.
Oh, it's insane. But you also notice when he's boarding and it's just him on there with all the rebellion and they're trying to figure out like what's going on. It's all black. We can't see or hear anything. His breathing apparatus, his panel would normally have the lights on. He manually made sure that was off just so he could get the dramatic effect of just his red lightsaber illuminating the room, just to scare the hell out of everybody.
And it worked.
It worked phenomenally, but he's always had a flair for drama. It's still Anakin Skywalker.
But he's the worst Force user in the whole world.
Anakin?
Oh, absolutely.
He was not the worst.
No, listen.
Okay.
How bad of a Force user can you be when you are in a room with the doors closed?
Okay.
And your daughter is 2 feet away from you, and you've run into her multiple times, and she's a Force user. As a Force,
at that point, she wasn't trained in the Force.
It doesn't matter.
She's Force sensitive.
Listen, Qui-Gon could pick up the kid. That kid Anakin had Jedi powers. Leia was stronger than Luke in the Force, according to doctrine. You're telling me that...
I don't know about that, but...
You're telling me Darth Vader, the all-powerful Sith, I am your father's uncle's best friend's next-door neighbor. You're telling me he couldn't figure out that Leia Organa, the daughter, quote-unquote daughter, of a man that he used to hang out with, that was biffles with Yoda and Obi-Wan, that magically appeared at the same time Padme was supposed to deliver a child, magically shows up 2 feet away from you, is a Force, has the Force, has the use of the Force, midichlorians, we all love them.
I take my daily dosage.
I'm glad you do. You're telling me that man, quote-unquote man, because he was more machine than man.
He was a cyborg, yeah.
He was something special, or special, okay? You're telling me he could not tell that was his daughter.
Well, I'm gonna say in the defense of him that as being powerful beings in the dark side often tend to be, they can be blinded by the dark side of the Force.
Blinded by the dark side of the Force. All right. So the only one worse with the Force use than Darth Vader is Emperor Palpatine. Because listen,
Okay.
He also hung out with Princess Leia all the time in the Senate.
You mean with Padme?
No. Princess Leia was a senator.
Yeah.
He was a head of the Senate. He was the emperor. He spent time with Princess Leia. She says in A New Hope, I see that the emperor has let you off your leash.
Oh, that's
so
right.
She has met the emperor before.
Mm-hmm.
The emperor, the one that can foresee all, has no idea. How great.
I think Emperor has an idea, but being the Emperor, he just tends to keep his stuff to himself. And he would make sense if he was going to tell Darth Vader's like, oh, your wife died in childbirth, so naturally your children died as well, or your child.
But he didn't tell him that. He said, you killed her.
Not in the movies, but I think in the comics we get that, because in the comics we get the scene where Darth Vader hires Boba Fett to track down the man who exploded the Death Star, being Luke. And he's like, he goes by the name of Skywalker. And there's this whole panel where like Darth Vader is furious and he cracks all the glass in front of him.
Yes.
And he's just like, oh, so I have a child.
But do you know where the last name Skywalker comes from?
Where?
Oh, look at that. I know something he doesn't. Go me.
You know a lot of things. I know not a lot.
If you read the Thrawn books.
I have not yet.
Okay. So Thrawn, blue-eyed, blue-skinned guy, red eyes.
Okay. Very handsome.
Okay. So the people who lead his ships, they're Force users.
Okay.
And they're usually girls. And they're usually younger than 16. And they're called Skywalkers.
Really?
They can pilot a ship through hyperspace without a computer by using the Force. They are called Skywalkers.
Mm-hmm.
And where do do the names maybe sound familiar at all? No?
A little. A touch.
Yeah, a little. Yeah. Okay. And this name came from Knights of the Old Republic all the way to Thrawn now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an old name given to Force users who
walk the sky,
who are pilots.
Yeah, and Anakin was always a phenomenal pilot.
So wasn't Luke.
Yeah, he was a good one.
He was a good one?
Well, he
flew into a Death Star.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying we never get in line like, oh, Luke's such a great pilot or whatever. But yeah, he does get piloting skill from his father and the Force.
Oh, so now, yeah. Okay. So the last name Skywalker is taken from that.
Okay.
So if you think about it, there you go. Again, I don't like the blue milk in Last Jedi.
Oh, the green milk?
Whatever. I thought it was blue, but, colors. I also don't like how they killed Luke.
Yeah.
That was so stupid.
I didn't like that, but I did like the last scene with Luke on Crate.
Yes, but it's still...
No, but the end, when he died, it was just like, it's
just asinine. It's stupid.
When they killed Snoke, I was so hyped. I'm like, oh my God, they killed Snoke. Who's going to be the bad guy? It's like, oh, okay, makes sense that Kylo Ren would take over, but it's just like, oh, that's great. Now they're teaming up. And I thought that fight was the best fight, the whole choreography, or actually now that I go back and look at it, the lack of choreography.
Yes.
Throughout the entire sequel trilogy, which is my least favorite part of the whole thing.
Well, yeah, my least favorite part of the thing is it's not Rey being a girl Jedi. I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. Jedi, I don't care what you are as long as you show up. They had the chance to really push the gray Jedi.
They did, yeah.
And they kind of just said, no.
Screw it, she's a Palpatine.
We might piss off somebody. So what? Piss them off.
You pissed off more people by doing what they did.
Our fanboys that go to Disney Con and Star Wars Con might be upset with us. Suck it up, Cupcake. Get over it. And what's worse is they had so many chances to make her Obi's daughter. Obi-Wan Kenobi's granddaughter. Or because Obi-Wan Kenobi had a lady friend.
With Satine, yeah.
Yep. Luke had her daughter.
Oh, yeah.
She could have been his.
Yeah, but I kind of like the fact that she wasn't a Skywalker. It's like, yes, I know the whole trilogy and whole saga and everything. But
Palpatine is also a Skywalker. Who do you think Anakin's dad really was?
Yeah. When you the whole like life, bringing life into Shmi.
Shmi. Sorry, just like the name. Shmi.
Oh, Shmi.
Shmi.
She got
one
smeared.
She got smeared.
That is a word for it.
Yes, she got
smeared in the desert.
She got jacked up. I mean, it was like, dude, just you couldn't have let her like die with honor. Nope, she died in the hole, basically. Ooh. Yeah. All right. So what was the next movie? Give me another one.
The Hobbit. The Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug. Okay. So what do you think of this lovely adventure film that they made 3 movies from one book?
It was, despite the fact that it's like, all right, we got one book, we're going to pace it out into 3 movies. It still felt immensely rushed. Like we're going from scene to scene where it's just like, oh, we gotta get to the dwarves and like I don't remember because I didn't care about the Hobbit as much as Lord of the Rings. But it's like, oh, the lead handsome dwarf is turning evil because gold and greed. But now we go back to the goblins and the orcs, and now we're in the elves, and the elf king is kind of a high hat,
a douche.
A grade A douche.
I mean, like super douche. Like he should wear a t-shirt.
Well, yeah.
With like an SD on his chest. Yeah. What's your name? Super douche. Yes.
A little T in the middle.
Yeah. But
it felt very jumpy from point to point, and I didn't see the last Hobbit movie, but I saw online.
That's okay. You don't need to.
I don't need to.
No.
Because we're like, oh my God, Smaug. He's the whole thing why we're here, because a freaking dragon. And it's like, that was pretty cool. I like the scene where Bilbo and Smaug are like talking. It was some nice monologuing between those two.
Benedict Cumberbatch and his friend. So between Sherlock Holmes and Watson yet again. Because, they play the
They did in Sherlock.
Yeah,
which was
they were
pretty good show.
together. So they should know how to talk to one another. They've done it a few times.
Yes, I thought it was good, but then the whole...
Now they're Marvel characters together.
Oh, that's right. He's a CIA agent.
Yeah.
But, and it's just like, he's like, I'm going to go rain hellfire on the village. And then you start the third movie, 10 minutes in, and apparently he dies. And then that's it for him.
Yep.
I'm like, then what's the rest of the movie for?
Literally nothing. I mean, here's my...
The dwarves take back the mountain and they have to reset the economy.
Here's my problem. And,
I'm going to scooch in a bit more. I am out of frame.
Yeah, it's okay, That's okay. So here's my problem with Smaug and The Hobbit in general.
Yeah.
They took... So the BBC made a Hobbit cartoon like in the 70s.
Where there's a whip, there's a way.
There's a something, okay? And
there's a shmee.
There's a shmee. And Tolkien's family, bless their souls, they made a lot of money off Lord of the Rings. They did. It was great. And then Peter Jackson's like, I really want to make The Hobbit. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what if I...
No.
Well, what if I...
now that you met... No.
And then finally it's like,
here.
How about we give you all of the money and you just let me make it anyway? Well, okay.
It's what he would have wanted.
No, it isn't. Because here's what I noticed on all 3 of the movies, and mostly in Smaug. Smaug bothered me for one reason. The one reason was this.
Why are you now...
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson.
Mr. Jackson.
Little Peter.
He focused so much on the visual.
It was a very
avatared
visually...
the crap out of it.
It was a very visually pleasing movie. But that's it.
It sucked.
Yeah.
If I wanted to watch a pretty picture, I'd go to a freaking museum, people.
If I wanted a pretty picture, I would have watched the original Lord of the Rings.
He made, I made it in higher def film, a higher frame rate. I don't care. Okay?
Take your high frame rate and smoke it. I
mean,
care.
he probably did.
Yeah.
I mean, if you make $1 billion, you can smoke pretty much anything you want.
Yeah, it's not hard to find.
But it really is frustrating because I like the books.
Mm-hmm. It was a good book.
A
good singular book, not
it's
3
good.
movies.
And they added Legolas to do a lot more, even though Legolas wasn't in the book.
And he was an asshole in that too.
He was a complete pile of crap.
He was just like, oh, I'm going to be like my dad. I'm like, we don't like your dad. We liked you in the other movies, the good movies.
Yeah, now I'm like, screw you. I'll do what I want.
Yeah.
And it upset me because, I want more. I want more people.
How dare you, as a person, have wants and needs?
Here's what I would do if I was Peter Jackson. 1, I would apologize to every human being on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, listen, I made 3 amazing movies that last about 26 hours if you watch all the extended cuts.
And which is arguably the greatest trilogy of movies of all time. Arguably.
Top 3. Okay?
Number 1, the first one.
First trilogy, Star Wars. Second one, Godfather.
Was part 3 really that good?
No, but 1 and 2 made up for it.
Okay.
Like, we don't need Ewoks, but we have them, so we have to count stuff because 4 and 5.
I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit. I can understand. That's my specialty.
It is.
I can understand why people get upset at the Ewoks, but I'm not. I don't mind
They're
the Ewoks.
cannibals.
Oh, it's perfect.
But they didn't even mention it other than, okay, how do you get a full-size human's clothes that fits a princess female unless you already ate another one?
Actually, they wouldn't be cannibals.
Well,
because
they're
predatory.
Humans. They're predatory, but they're cute and they sell dolls and Hasbro loves them. So Star Wars, Godfather, then Lord of the Rings. Now, he makes this beautiful trilogy. Storyline, great. Now, of course, he has to skip a bunch because if you go by the books, you're talking you'd have 44 days per book. It's crazy. But he does a good job connecting the dots and making it work.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to The Hobbit. The Hobbit as a book isn't as long as The Fellowship of the Rings as a book.
I know the movies were separated into 2 parts a lot, but was it just my imagination, or was the Fellowship of the Ring books also separated into 2 separate parts?
Fellowship of the Rings, 2 Towers, and Return of the King were 3 books.
Just individually in total?
Yes.
Okay.
So 3 books, 3 movies. Makes sense,
big
right?
books.
Yes. You have The Hobbit, which is 180 pages.
Oh, that's a day's read easy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make 6 hours of movies with them.
Multiple movies.
Okay. Which, again, 6 hours, great. I get it. 6 hours if you did it, and you did it precisely, great.
Mm-hmm.
But you're adding characters, you're adding special effects, you're adding things you don't need. Why? Because Legolas was in the Lord of the Rings, and people like Legolas.
They want to be able, I remember him. I know him.
He's the guy with the hair. No crap. He's got hair.
Also, I wonder about what you're saying about characters. I keep seeing almost at the end of the movie, they keep throwing in new characters. I'm supposed to pay attention and care about this person and then this person. It's I already got 13 hobbits.
The Scottish best friend's next door neighbor's cousin.
And their podiatrist. Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's just it's hard enough taking care of 13 hobbits.
And 13 dwarfs.
12 dwarfs and a hobbit.
12 dwarfs and a hobbit, you're correct.
The lucky 13.
Yes.
No. That's right. It was 13 dwarves and the 14th being a Hobbit because he was the lucky because he broke the 13.
They have all these characters, and they're like, you know what? Marketing. We need
the corrupt mayor.
We need someone with a Scottish accent. Which
I'm happy about representation. Don't get me wrong.
I'm glad you feel included. You're not being triggered by a movie. That's good because we're all about triggering here. I'm good.
Triggering is my
so that movie triggered me a lot because I was really wanted it to be good, and then it sucked. Mm-hmm. All right, so next movie.
Now, I haven't seen it recently, but I did see it. And the third movie you said was Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Venom.
With Topher Grace as Venom.
Venom.
We have James Franco as Venom. Goblin Jr.
Goblin Jr. James Franco, perfect role for him. Not quite good, but not bad.
What was it? It was that one scene where he's eating the pie. He's like, how's the pie? He's like, so good.
Well, what I don't get... So, you have a Spider-Man movie, and his best friend, Goblin Jr., gets amnesia and forgets who he is.
Well, I think it happened in the comics, but...
They did a really poor job of it.
They referenced something like that in the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Yes, but we're talking, like, they played it up really poorly. The acting was horrible. I mean, James Franco, great actor, if you want, a crappy movie with...
If you want something stupid to laugh at.
If you want to be a 17-year-old watching a stupid movie, James Franco. James Franco, Seth Rogen, those are your men. If you want actual acting, don't pick James Franco.
Don't pick Seth Rogen.
Franco, if you ever listen to this or watch this, I don't like you, man.
I liked you in Freaks and Geeks.
I don't like you at all. You're a horrible individual, and I really think you falling down a hole would not hurt my feelings at all.
I'd be a little upset.
I wouldn't at all. I wouldn't even do an in memoriam for James Franco.
I mean, he did fall down a hole. It was in 127 hours. That was him, wasn't it?
I don't know. Did he cut his arm off? Is that the one?
That's the one.
Yeah, too bad he didn't do it in real life.
Wow.
James Franco is a piece of dirt.
You're entitled to your opinion.
No, it's podcast people who watch us later on Twitch. Tell me I'm right, because I am. Let's be honest. James Franco is a hot piling steam of crap.
I don't know enough to form a proper opinion on the man and his morals, but I've enjoyed his work. I will say
Google is free.
It is.
Try it sometime. Anyway, all right. So that movie had way too many problems. One, Venom. Is he a hero? A villain? Evil?
He was just a douche.
He was a douche, okay? Now, the new Venom they've done with Tom Hardy kind of explains Venom better. I can get behind that Venom. This Venom was like, okay, let's make Tobey Maguire evil. Okay. It's kind of like making Mr. Rogers evil. You can't do it. Tobey Maguire, no matter how evil he dances and how much he struts, everyone knows the dude is going to be good. Yeah, because he's like the Mr. Rogers of Spider-Man.
I think that people were mistaking cringe for evil.
And that was cringe. That's like...
2007 was a year for cringe.
It was. And then the Sandman. Are we supposed to root for him because of his daughter? Are we not supposed to root for him? Are we supposed to hate him, love him, disembowel him? What are we supposed to do with this guy?
I don't know. Because I felt bad. I'm like, oh, he's got a daughter and he cares for his kid. But then he's just like, he's like, oh, I had this backstory, but then I'm not going to really acknowledge or play with it further.
Yeah, the backstory doesn't matter. We'll just use special effects to make him look like sand. And now he's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
So let's see if they bring back the same guy or if they're going to do somebody different. Don't know about that yet.
I feel like they're just going to keep him as Big Sand.
Big Sand? You think
Big Sand.
He's just going to show
that's
up.
That's his street name, Big Sand.
It's going to be like Baywatch, but just the Bay.
Just the Bay.
Just the Bay, no watching.
And we're watching.
Slow motion.
Oh, yeah.
Jiggling up and down.
Just watch that sand. The crab coming out of the sand. You see the like,
he has crabs. Wow.
I don't know about his personal life.
I don't know either.
I mean, where there's sand, there's critters.
But Venom is horrible.
Not the movie. You're going back to the character.
I'm going to
the Topher Grace Venom.
Topher Madness. Topher Madness needs to never act in a superhero movie again. No matter how much money they offer him. Topher, if you're listening to this, Topher, listen, okay? Just say no.
What kind of name is Topher?
I don't know. I think his parents were on meth.
It sounds a lot like Gopher. They're like, what's their favorite animal?
Dude, I'm like,
Gopher.
saying a gopher, but like...
Yeah, he was born on Groundhog Day.
He's got a T on his forehead. I can say it's glowing. That's a sign from God. Let's name him
Topher.
Topher. What the heck is wrong with people? It's like Gwyneth Paltrow. Let's name my daughter Apple. Are you stupid? Yes,
Did she actually name her daughter
Apple?
Apple Paltrow?
Apple.
Oh.
Apple. At least Robert Williams, he's a comedian, names his daughter Zelda. It's a little funny. Let's go with it.
That was a proper name, at least.
But let's look at Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm serious. I can tell you how to be healthy by steaming things that shouldn't be steamed. But hey, let's name my daughter Apple.
Trust me, I own a company named Goop.
You know, it's good when it's called Goop. Right?
That's what my podiatrist says.
Really? You see a podiatrist a lot. You might want to get that checked. Do you know what a podiatrist is?
Isn't it a foot doctor?
At least he knows what it is. I didn't know if it was something else. He says he's a podiatrist.
He tends to my pods.
Yeah, he does. He tends to my inner parts with his finger. And he tells me it smells like chicken.
He says the pods are intact.
Uh-huh.
Yes. They'll be ready for takeoff.
Yes, they are.
This is an interesting episode for this podcast.
I have no idea where we're going with this. All right. Next one.
The last one, which totally just fits the curve.
Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah.
I did this one on purpose.
Beaches. With
Starring
Bette Midler.
All right. Tell me about Beaches for you, and then I'm going to go all mushy. So.
Yes. So from what I know about you and from what you've told me, Beaches for you was an emotional movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried. I watched it. It wasn't a bad movie.
He has no soul, people.
It was okay.
He has no soul.
I tend to cry a lot during emotional movies. Like I'm a sap.
He cries at like the drive-through when they don't get his fries right.
No, I don't.
Oh, I asked for curly fries. They gave me straight fries. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind.
I don't cry at that. I get mad.
I love you. Okay.
I throw my number just at random people. I didn't cry at Beaches.
He sucks as a human being.
I teared up because I felt bad for the daughter, but that was it. I didn't actively cry. I'm like, I couldn't relate to the two main characters.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Beaches, all the other ones you can see easy. Beaches is a little dramatic. Okay, 1980s movie. Mm-hmm. Bette Midler played originally the child that played Bette Midler, Mayim Bialik from Big Bang Theory.
Yep. Also
played Blossom later on. Okay?
Blossom?
Blossom, the TV show in the 80s. Dude, you were so young.
I know shows from the 80s, just not all of them. I don't know Blossom.
Blossom. Her best friend's name was Six.
And Bubbles.
Joey Lawrence was her brother.
Why do I know the name Joey Lawrence?
Well, he started in a TV show, started with Nell, which was a crazy show with a black lady, and she was like the housekeeper. But anyway, Joey Lawrence is an actor.
Okay.
He's in a bunch of shows too. Anyway, Mayim Bialik / Bette Midler's character. Okay. She's on the boardwalk. She's tap dancing. Finds this rich little brunette girl, who later we find out is a ginger. Anyway, brunette girl who's lost on the beach. Oh, she's lost.
Out of place.
Out of place. She doesn't belong there, does she?
She looked like...
She looks like a lost puppy who just got run over.
No, she didn't even look like she was run over. She looked like she was...
She was sad and pathetic.
Not sad and pathetic. She was, you could tell easily, like, not daddy's money kind of a rich girl, but my daddy has money kind of a rich girl. And you see her walking the Atlantic City boardwalk.
Yes, Under the Boardwalk.
We're singing that Under the Boardwalk.
Under the Boardwalk.
That's a great song, by the way.
I know. Out of the sun. Yes. All right. So, Bette Midler's girly young lady character finds her. She's like, I'm lost. I don't know where to go. And she's like, where do you gotta go? Toots.
Yeah.
First she brings her to her audition, sings, that's the story of, that's the glory of love. Then the hand-walking queer walks in, wins the show, wins the gig.
The hand-walking queer is not a slur, that was an actual line from the film.
You watch the movie, tell me if I'm wrong. If I've mislabeled somebody, yell at me later.
I was there. The girl was
her name was
the
hand-walking queer. That's what they called her. It was the 80s. It was a different time. We could call people that, and no one was triggered. It was great.
Everyone was too on drugs to be triggered.
Hey,
it was the 80s.
Drugs aren't bad unless you take them.
Drugs aren't bad unless they're pharmaceutical.
Yeah, we won't go there. I don't want to get shut down already.
Big Pharma comes down on Twitch channel.
Oh my Lanta. Anyway, become biffles.
Mm-hmm.
They write each other with letters, not email. There was no email back then. It was called letters. You write with pens and envelopes,
and quills and inks and Hodor,
and then you send it with a pony and you go across the country. No, so they wrote each other letters. They were pen pals for like 20 years. Finally, Whitney leaves her family, moves out.
Whitney being the rich girl,
leaves everything, goes to New York and finds Cece, which is Bette Midler's character's name, and they live in an apartment in New York where they have no heat and they're poorer than poor, and they grow into friends, and then they hate each other, then they're friends again, then they hate each other, then they're friends again. Lo and behold, Whitney has a child. Gets married, has a child. The husband cheats on her. She leaves him. Mm-hmm. Child is born. All of a sudden, mommy doesn't feel well.
No.
Mommy don't feel good. Then all of a sudden, mommy falls down, doesn't get up. Mommy has cancer.
It wasn't cancer, it was like a heart condition.
Yeah.
But, hearts are kind of important.
We'll say heart condition. I think it was cancer or AIDS, and they just were trying to...
I watched it last week. It was a heart condition.
I know, but I'm thinking it was the 80s. Could have been AIDS, and they just called it a heart condition because she was rich.
Yeah.
Go with the conspiracy. That's what I tried to do.
She was rich, yeah.
She was a rich kid. So, heart condition instead of AIDS. Anyway, they go back to the beach. Cece's watching the child, playing with the child, and mommy dies on the beach. Anyway, the whole point of the movie is two best friends, no matter how many times you hate each other, you come back because you're friends, you're family. Like me, I have a million gajillion people that are my quote-unquote friends. I see them like once a decade, but I know if something happened...
You're there for them.
I'm there for them. Mm-hmm. Like I had a friend not too long ago, some stuff came up. I went and bought her family dinner. Why? Because she needed something. Not a lot, just something. She didn't ask me, hey, Richard, can you buy me dinner? No, what she said is...
She sounds like she smokes a few packs a day.
She's had a rough day. Okay.
I need you to buy me dinner, Richard. It's been a long, hard week.
Okay. Her mom ended up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
She's been crazy at work. Her kids are kids. And COVID and life sucks. And you know what? I talked to my wife and said, hey, I really like to do this. And she's like, okay. So I did it. I didn't say, hey, you okay if I buy you dinner? She's like, I said, I'm buying you dinner. What do you want? And she's like, you don't have, I said, shut up. What do you want?
That's not an option on the menu. What do you want?
And then she's like, well, whatever. I'm like, no, what do you want? And so I made sure she got dinner, even though she was going to fight me on wanting dinner. I don't care because I'm stubborn and I'm good at it. So anyway, beaches reminds me of that. It's, when you have that real close biffle, the person who's been to hell and back with you, you kind of are there for them, even if it's horrible,
your
hard.
Sister from another mister, your brother from another mother, your friend from the other end.
That just sounds dirty.
It's only dirty if you let it be.
What is wrong with you?
A lot.
I think you need therapy.
Oh, I do. I know that.
I can't afford to pay for it, though.
Oh, I'm not asking you to.
Oh, my Lanta. So here's the deal, guys. I'm going to try this Twitch thing, and I might have Jack come back. I might have other people come back.
I would love to come back. I'm having a blast.
I'm thinking the next one we do, I'll have Jack back one more time. Because the next one is going to be on Christmas traditions and why we have them and what is so impressive about them. Because to me, there's we do a lot of traditions in this household. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you in on some of them. We get a real Christmas tree. Now, you might be like, well, doesn't everybody get a real Christmas tree? Now, listen, guys. I'm really allergic to pine trees.
Do you know what Maine is known for?
Pine trees. Here's the thing, too. Every year we get a real Christmas tree. And every year I break out in hives. My nose gets clogged. I can't swallow. I can't sleep. I get migraines for about 30 days. Do you know why? Why do you think that is?
I'm thinking allergies.
To what?
Pine?
And what is sitting about 12 feet away from us as we speak?
A tilted pine tree.
A tilted pine tree, because our pine tree this year is fat. It's not like it's thick. It's like
thick with 3 C's
and 4 K's and an exclamation point. Okay, we're talking. There's something wrong with this tree, and the thickness is more on one side than the other.
And the best part is, I think right now the way the thickness is leaning is actually closer to you.
Yes,
currently
it's like, come to me, let me kill you slowly. So like last night, I'm sitting in the living room.
Yes, you are.
I'm watching a football game.
You were.
I was.
It was a good game.
By the end of the game, my eyes are watering. Now, it's not because I'm crying, because the Patriots are winning, so I'm not crying.
It could be tears of joy.
I don't, yeah. My eyes are watering.
Mm-hmm.
I got the frothy tongue. Okay, the dry mouth.
The cotton mouth.
The cotton mouth. I was trying not to be, racist cotton, picking cotton.
That's not.
I don't know if that was cotton.
I always thought it was related to the snake.
I don't know. You're smarter than I am. But, so I'm looking, going, I can either watch the post game or go to my room and try to breathe. So I decided to go in my room and try to breathe. These are the things we do. Now, my wife, I love her. She would probably get a fake tree if I said, hey, honey, I think we should get a fake tree. She doesn't, or I don't, because I have these kids and grandkids and I love you all. I don't love Josh that much, or Bobby, but the rest of them I like.
One of them's my wife.
Yeah, well, you know what? She's like top 10.
I guess I'll take it.
With all the people that you think that we think that are my children, top 10's not bad.
I mean, yeah, that's a good, top 20%.
Yeah. So we have new kids here. We have kids that are younger, kids that are older. We have kids of all ages, kids of all sizes. We have grandkids. We have dog kids. They like the real tree. They like going and cutting down the tree. So what does that mean? That means I go and get a tree. Now, there's worse traditions we have. A lot worse. And I'm thinking, yeah, we could do it this Sunday.
This Sunday?
This Sunday after church. We have church, right?
This Sunday we do.
And we have no football games, so I have nothing to do. We could spend like an hour and do this.
Okay. So
like Sunday at noon, we could do this. Mm-hmm. And then I could post it on the podcast and get two in a 5 day span.
Yeah. A little Christmas treat.
But here's what I need from you.
From me?
Yeah, I'm giving him an assignment, everybody. Okay?
The teacher strikes back.
I need you to tell me the Doylestown Brown traditions.
Oh, gladly.
Now, I don't want to hear about your make-believe sister. I want your father, your mother, your grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
The other person, I don't think she exists. Never met her.
You haven't met her, but she does exist.
Yeah, okay. Just like the abominable snowman.
Well, we haven't met him, so we can't say.
And the border. And Joe Biden's brain.
Wait,
and
what?
Kamala Harris's tenacity. Huh?
What came after?
The border.
Oh, the border. I thought you said a border. I'm like, are we getting uber political right now?
We're not going to get. Well, we could. That would go bad for me. Well, actually, it'd go bad for him because we'd be here for another 2 hours and 30
The first and last Twitch episode.
I get
for
banned
the
from
category
Twitch.
mistake.
I get banned from Twitch after one episode. Yes. All right. So here's what I need you to do. Josh, I know you're either listening or you're going to later. I need you to share this with all your friends or the people that say they're your friends.
Hi, Mom.
Your mom?
Yeah, I told her. I'd be on this.
Who's your mom?
You've met my mother.
I know your mom, but what's her name?
Jennifer.
Did she have a Twitch thingy?
She does not have a Twitch. She'll be listening on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify. All right. So Jennifer, Mrs. Brown.
She is still happily married.
Yes, I saw that on Facebook.
That's a positive.
If it's on Facebook, it's official. Mrs. Brown, share this with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Mrs. Brown, I need you, if you get to listen to this week, make sure Jack gets these traditions right, because when you hear it again, if he screws it up, I want you to call him out.
She will.
Okay, because let's be honest. If
I know you would, Mom.
when he screws up the traditions, I need someone to call him out because I won't have a clue. I have so many traditions. I gotta have to make a list. I have to check with my wife, check it twice. Gotta find out who's naughty or nice type deal. Okay, because I am horrible at remembering everything.
He says that with his newly graying beard.
Yeah, if people looking online, about 6 months ago, my wife said, "Hey, you can not shave and grow a beard." Now we've been married 27 years next week. Okay, 27 years.
Congratulations.
Never wanted me to have this. Yeah, all of a sudden she's like, "Well, honey, if you want to grow it out." Now she does tell me later it's because she thought I would grow it out and I'd hate it, so then I would shave it and never ask again. I didn't do that. Right. Then I shaved it just for giggles, and she's like, "Oh, I liked you better with a beard."
I've for all the time that I've known you without a beard. I'm like, okay, that's just him. No beard, that's fine. That's him. I'm not going to judge. Not my story, not my body, whatever. I see you with the beard. I'm like, I like the beard. I think you should keep the beard. I come back. You don't have the beard. I'm like, you really should have kept the beard.
Well, I did it because the two younger kids we have, they said, "Oh, no, he looks better without the beard." So I shaved the beard. And like, yeah, you look better with the beard. So everybody tells me I look better with the beard. Now, my students who are listening, you saw me with a beard a little bit last year. And if you were at the school when I visited you this year, I have it. But I'm getting very gray. Like next year I could play Santa because I've got about a goatee of gray. And I blame it on my children. Like your wife. I blame it on her.
She is one of your children.
She does break things and then panics and calls us.
She does panic. I'm not a fan of panicking.
Neither am I. I'm really good at it, though. I really should be a professional panicker.
I think I am a good reason. I wouldn't say a good reason.
He's a good reason that she panics.
No, I was going to say I think I am definitely a reason my mother has gone gray.
I was going to point at him, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, I have not been a perfect child.
Really?
Yeah. I know.
Well, I know because
they just met me and I'm already letting them down.
You didn't like beaches, so you couldn't have been a perfect child.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
You are a horrible human being.
I never said.
You did not cry at beaches.
Yeah, I never cried at it. I never said I didn't like it. I thought it was all right.
You know what?
What?
Loser. You're just a loser.
I've been called worse.
Your mom.
She is a nice lady.
She is, so I really can't call you that because you're not nice. Because you didn't cry at beaches. I bet your mom cried at beaches.
I bet if she did watch it, she probably would cry at it.
I bet your dad would cry at beaches.
Possibly.
But your grandparents would too? Your fake sister? No.
My grandmother, my grandfather probably would.
How about your fake sister?
She wouldn't watch it.
Does she cry at anything?
I don't think so.
I don't either. You know why?
Because you don't think she exists.
She's not real.
I think she
A
exists.
fake person can't cry.
They can if you try hard enough.
A fake person can cry?
Oh, yeah. What if you identify as not fake or fake?
I identify as a fake unicorn Abercrombie and Fitch supermodel named Steve.
I think you can't do that unless you're legally sponsored by Abercrombie and Fitch, because we're going
Abercrombie,
into corporate territory.
If you want to sponsor me, I will take your money and I will wear your clothes. I will not smell like your store because I like breathing, but I will take every dollar bill you send my way.
If you somehow manage to pull a sponsor from Abercrombie and Fitch, all because you said I identify as a fake unicorn, Abercrombie and Fitch, gremlin, whatever it was,
supermodel named Steve.
Yes. If you manage to pull a sponsor out of that, I don't even know.
I'm amazing.
I never said you weren't.
I mean, look at me. If you're looking on Twitch, I'm a specimen. If you're looking online, don't worry about looking
I'm a
me up.
specimen.
Okay. Trust me.
What a general term.
Specimen. Okay. If you're one of my students, I'm not a specimen. Okay. I'm just your teacher. Okay.
What about the specimen and the speciwomen?
I'm a specimen. Specithing.
Yeah, it works.
Specithey. They, them. We, thee.
He, she.
I'm not
we.
I don't know what I identify.
Wumbo jumbo.
Can someone explain to me how to identify myself?
That's how you feel.
I don't know how I feel. I feel hungry. So do I identify as hungry?
Temporarily.
I could be, wait, I got it. I am a cis, male, unicorn-loving, JoJo Siwa listening, Adele worshiper, Taylor Swift wannabe, Ed Sheeran hating, hungry individual who likes dogs.
Okay, but on a more serious note, what does cis mean? C-I-S. What does that actually mean? I've never learned.
I think that means I'm a straight white male. You all in the world of Twitch and not Twitch and podcasts, let me know what cis. I just assume it means I'm a straight guy. If cis means I'm not a straight guy, I need to tell my wife. Because I've been lying to her for a long time and I need to fix it. Yeah. Okay, now sometimes I talk like I'm not, but that's because I like talking that way because it's fun for me. Yeah. And that's okay.
It is.
It's okay.
I like to talk like this sometimes. Hello.
Yeah, he's a little weird, guys. So, all right. So this ends our stream/podcast.
It does.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Yeah. Jackie Onassis, Jacqueline Brown.
What a woman. Jackie Onassis.
Jackie Onassis is a horrible human being.
We can save that for another episode.
That will definitely be a podcast. All the horrible people in history. Because I'll tell you right now, Jackie Onassis, top 10 worst first ladies of all time. Maybe number 2.
I know very little about first ladies.
He's not that smart. That was funny. Mm-hmm. I have students who listen to this.
Yeah.
And they know more than you do.
Well, maybe it's because you taught them that. Have you thought about that?
No. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
All right. So I'm going to end our podcast, and then I'll come back to Twitch to end that.
Oh.
So Twitch people, hold on.
We're multitasking.
Okay. So this is Richard Mariello for the Category Mistake podcast. I will talk to you all soon.